great. What do you think of America? What do you think of America? You think it's great? Hey, hey, that's the spirit. Because see, what is America known as? That's that pride. I asked him, what does he think America's great? Well, yeah, it's a great city, but America is gonna have to be what? Decimated. Okay? It's great because people can make merchandise, they can make money, and is rich in abundance of things. Okay? That's why it's great. But in terms of spiritually, it's not so great. Okay? And cage of every unclean and hateful bird, because America's going to be a habitation for unclean birds. And if you go into the law, it tells you in the law what the uncleanful birds are. The owls, cormorants, the satyrs, they're going to be dwelling in Babylon. Okay? The unclean animals are going to be dwelling in Babylon. It tells you that in Isaiah. We go to that after. Okay? Actually, we go to that now, Baba Kishar. Quickly go to Isaiah 13. Okay? Isaiah 13. Okay? This is Isaiah 13 and 19. Start at 18. Their bow shall dash the young men to pieces. So it says there's going to be young and old that die in this World War III, which is coming. Okay? And they shall have no pity of the fruit of thy womb. What's the fruit of thy womb? Children. There's even going to be children dying in this World War III. If you know about World War I or World War II, if you had your family, if some of your family were in that, they would tell you how bad it was. Okay? And it's coming a time where World War I, World War II is going to have nothing on what you see. And World War III, it's going to be nothing compared to what you see. It's going to be nothing compared to what you're going to see. But that's good, you know why? Because people, they need to come up against you just so they can get condemned. The scriptures say, when I come into the house of the Most High, keep thy foot in thy mouth. Okay? For they consider that they not do evil. This is the house where I'm dwelling now. Because you might say, well, you're by yourself. How is that a house? Well, the scriptures say when two or three are gathered. Well, I believe there's angels standing on the side of me, 2 angels at the cherubim, so that's already 2 or 3 in the midst. So you got to be careful when you're approaching this tabernacle, what comes at your mouth, what you're thinking. Okay? Isaiah 13 and 19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdom. Okay? So this is Babylon, it's the glory of kingdom. Okay? Because you had that individual saying America's great. Yeah, it's great in its own little way. Okay, where people are making merchandise. Okay? It's the glory of the kingdoms. Okay? Which Babylon, that's that last kingdom, this Roman Empire, which is going to be decimated. Okay? The glory of kingdoms. Okay? The beauty of the Chaldees. Excellency shall be as the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So it's letting you know, America, how is it going to go out? The same way Sodom and Gomorrah went out. By fire and brimstone. You're right there? Ah, she didn't end it. She got the thing. Yeah, it's going to go out the same way. Fire and brimstone. Okay? Because that's what's going to be in the missiles. Okay? And how was Sodom and Gomorrah destroyed? by fire and brimstone. Why? Alright,
Very good.
yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, shut up.
Man.
Yeah. Same way it's gonna go out. Fire and brimstone. Why was Sodom and Gomorrah destroyed? Because of what? Their wicked deeds. Sodomy, okay? And according to the scriptures, if two men lie together, that's the act of sodomy. You should be put to death, according to the scriptures. That's off. It's not right. Okay? Some men, they don't have a problem with it. Why? Because they obviously, there's a problem. They obviously might be sodomites. So anybody who ain't speaking up against it, more or likely they're for it. Okay? If you're not against it, you're for it. Okay? Sodomy is unclean. Okay? Sodomy is unclean. It's not natural. Okay? The reason why a man has a rod is to inject that rod into a woman. The woman, why a woman, I'm going to get technical now. A woman, the reason why a woman has a vagina, okay, so you can inject your rod in her. I've got to say it this way to you, those that are simple. You can inject your rod in her vagina, okay, penetrate her, then guess what? 9 months later, a baby comes out and a child is born. That's called what? Creating. That's how you create. You don't create by two men lying with each other. How do you create? How are you bringing forth life? Actually, what you're doing, you're going against the true ways of Yahushua. Because the scripture says a man shall be joined unto a woman, and they shall be two. So this is why another reason why this man needs to go down. Because he's changing sexes. You have it right, you have it now where, even in sports, you have it where you have transgenders operating in sports. So you could have a man that's a transgender, that's a woman, and that's partaking in the sport. And that man beats the woman because that so-called woman is a man. So obviously he has more strength, so he wins. You see, so this is all backwards. It's not right. And this is what we have to speak up against. And this place is going to go down the same way Sodom and Gomorrah went down. Because what they were doing, it was off, according to the scriptures. And we have to speak against that. If we're going to speak against wickedness, we're going to speak against all of it. Okay? You can't just touch on one thing. Okay? Got to teach on all the scriptures, not just some. And if you've got a problem with me getting on sodomites, and guess what? I might need to question your sexuality. I might need to question your sexuality. Because that's another thing. You've got men that are come to camp and gaze at other men sexually. A lot of men, they're questionable, man. Because you do know you have men that are married. You do know you have men that are married. You have men that are married, okay, married with a woman, but they still have sex with what? Men. You're still a sodomite. You're still a sodomite. Okay, these are unclean spirits. Okay, and Lord willing, I want to do a lesson on that as well. Beware of feminine spirits. A feminine spirit is an unclean spirit. Okay. It shall never be inhabited again. So once Babylon is done, once Babylon is through, it's never going to be inhabited ever again. That's going to be the end of it. Okay? Done. Vamush. America ain't going to be inhabited again. It's going to be a thing of the past. America's going to be done. Okay? Shall not be inhabited from generation to generation. So it's letting you know, once Babylon is taken out, There's going to be no other revival. That's going to be it. Okay? It's going to be a thing of the past. Scriptures tell you that in Daniel 2 or 44. How it became the chaff, the residue. And neither shall the Arabian pitch their tent there. Pitch tent means to set up shop. Because the Arabians, Ishmael, a lot of the nations are rich off America. Especially Ishmael. Especially Ishmael. Okay? Ishmael is making a whole load of money in America. Okay? A whole load of money. Neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. In other words, businessmen. Businessmen are also known as shepherds. When you're a shepherd, what is it? It's money. It's stock. Okay? So neither the shepherds shall make their fold there. Okay? Money, merchandise. Okay? Trading. Okay? Bear me just a minute. Verse 21, but the wild beasts of the desert. So it says wild beasts. Wild beasts are going to be dwelling there, in that region. The animals, we read that in Revelation 18. It shall be a habitation of foul spirits. Okay. There's going to be Komodo dragons there. All types of wild animals are going to be dwelling in that land. And the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, because everything that's in that region is going to be desolate. Okay? Everything. Okay? And dragons in their pleasant palaces. So it also talks about the dragons. So when this happens, there's also going to be particular dragons, because dragons, what they you see them in toxic type of environment. So it even lets you know there's going to be dragons in these regions. Okay, it doesn't tell you what dragons is going to be. Okay, but this is what's going to happen. Okay. See, you know, Esau's very nosy. He comes around just to act like he ain't doing nothing. Just to, what they call it, eavesdrop. Okay? Because that's Esau for you. Esau's in everybody's business. And the owls, bear me just a minute, and the owls and the satyrs shall dance there. So it's letting you know that the birds are going to be what? Rejoicing in that land. And that's going to belong to them, because no man's going to dwell there again. It's going to belong to Yahweh Shai and him only. So like it, well, all lands belong to Yahweh. It's like I tripped up on words. It's going to belong to them wild animals. They're going to be dwelling there. Okay? But wild beasts and the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures. Yeah, we went into that. And dragons in their pleasant palaces. The pleasant palaces, they're going to be destroyed, but there's going to be like, you know when you saw the Twin Towers, how there were still bits standing up? This is how it's going to be. With America, you're still going to have certain structures somewhat up, bent, you know. That's what's going to happen. Okay. Her time is near to come. So the time of America, Babylon, demise is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. So if the days of America ain't being prolonged, that means things are speeding up according to Yahweh's will, because yeah, obviously we want things to happen on our time, but it's not about our time. This is about the time of Yahweh. Okay? Yahweh does things on his own time. Okay? Yeah, her days are meant to be prolonged. Okay? Let's go back to Revelations 18. Okay? This is Revelations 18, so we're done with that. We're on Revelations 18 and what, 2? Let's jump to 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And what's that wine? That wine is the philosophies of America. Okay? The philosophies, her ways. That's that wine. Okay? That all nations have drunken of. Okay? And many have taken on that wine, the ways of America. Many don't have a problem. Many are intoxicated. I call it Babylon juice. Okay? And that's why you have majority of the people to be thousands of miles away from Babylon, but they're still under the what? The influence of Babylon. Okay? And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich for the abundance of her delicacies, because most of these people, most of these nations, it's letting you know they're rich. They're made rich off Babylon, America, rich. Okay? That's why if you crack the market in America, basically you're a millionaire, or even, we say trillionaire, millionaire or billionaire. If you crack the market in America, because it's a massive place. Okay? If you crack 5% of the market in America, you're a made man. That's why everybody goes to America, the major place to sell their products. Okay? The kings of the earth have committed fornication. The fornication is these other nations. Okay? Getting with food. Getting with what's the name? Doing deals with Babylon. That's that fornication. Okay. With her and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich for the abundance. So it's the abundance of her delicacies. So it's letting you know, how are most of these nations getting rich? Most of these nations are getting rich by trading with America. Okay? That's how most of these nations are rich. Okay? Import, export. Okay? And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. So when he was talking about that voice, I heard another voice. This was the voice of an angel warning John the Revelator, and John the Revelator warning us, because angels are also known as messengers of Yahweh Yahushai. Okay? That ye be not partakers out of her sin. So when it says, come out of her, my people, what does that mean? Does that mean you catch a flight? It doesn't mean you catch a flight, take the nearest flight. Because if you're deemed for destruction, then you're deemed for destruction. Okay? Come out of her is meaning spiritually. Spiritually come out of the ways and philosophies of Babylon, which is America. That's how you come out of Babylon. That's how you come out of America. Okay? That's how you come out of the ways of Babylon. Okay? That ye be not partakers of her sins. Because if you follow the philosophies and the ways of Babylon, okay, that means you're being a partaker in the ways of Babylon. So if you're into Christianity or any type of philosophy, if you think it's alright to be soft, you're following the ways of America. If you think it's alright for two men to lay down together, that means you're still in the ways of America. You haven't fled from the ways of this world mentally. Okay? And be not partakers of her sins, because the majority of these people, they're partakers with the sins of Babylon. They're actually partakers, whether they realize it or not. Okay? They're partaking in the ways of America. Babylon. Okay? That you receive none of her plagues, because when all this hell comes down, and plagues is the destruction, different forms. So we don't want to receive the plagues that are going to come upon this wicked world. Okay? So what do? We flee, and we flee mentally. Part of fleeing is knowing your Lord, your power, who you serve. Okay? That you receive none of her plagues. And we don't want to receive them plagues. And them plagues are them judgments. Okay? We don't want to receive them judgments that's coming upon this earth. For her sins have reached unto heaven. So America, Babylon's sins have reached unto heaven, unto the spiritual realm. The Most High sees. Okay? That's why these things are being marked down. The angels, okay? The angels are, this is going on, that's going on, and they're reporting it right back to Yahweh Shai. You know? And the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you. So how was Babylon and America going to be rewarded? And how did America reward us? With punishments. So them same punishments that they rewarded us with, they're going to be rewarded us. Men say, well, don't you think that's a bit unfair? You're just repaying evil for, you're just repaying evil for evil. That's as worse. You know, but that means you don't have a royal mentality. You don't have a royal mentality, because what your enemy's done to you, you want done to them in a righteous manner. And really it's about what Yahweh Shai wants. So if you have a problem with having slaves, having multiple women, ruling, you don't have a royal mentality. You have a very base, low level vibration. Because as a man of the Lord, what, you want your enemies beneath you. You want land. Okay? That's what you should want. That's what you should desire. Okay? A true man wants that. All this talk, what's all this talk about? Oh no, that's unfair, bro, because you're just doing what they done to you. That's why that's why 2/3 of our people need to go. That's why 2/3 of our people need to go. Hold on a minute, that means you're defending this Edomite. That means you're comfortable with just being a slave. That's what that means. Okay? Oh, 2 wrongs don't make it right. Yeah, but it makes it even. Okay. It don't make no sense. How could you hate Esau, but you're still a Christian? You're holding on to Christianity. That doesn't make no sense. So you haven't really been reborn again. Okay? If you're still a Christian, you haven't been reborn again. Okay? That's why the scriptures talk about become a new man. Being a new man in Yahweh Shai. You know? And double unto her as she has doubled unto thee. So everything that Esau has done, America, this ready for me to America, it's going to be doubled. Remember our captivity. Remember why we're in this condition. They never had no mercy, even though that was the Lord's will, but they never eased up on it. So that's going to be doubled, especially when we get Esau in the kingdom. That's going to be doubled, tripled. Okay. In the cup which you have filled to her double. And that's spiritual, because when you go into that cup is also referring to Revelations 17, where that woman was filling up that cup. Okay? And what was that cup filled with? The blood of the saints, the abominations as well. Okay? It's America. And why did it say the blood of the saints? Because it's going to be certain individuals in this truth that die for the truth. Okay? And that woman had the blood of the saints, the martyrs of Yahweh Shai. Okay? How much have she glorified herself? That's that pride. And live deliciously. Because right now, America is somewhat still living deliciously. Okay? So much torment and sorrow give her, so that's what's going to be given to Babylon. Sorrow and torment. Okay? For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen. And when you go to the word queen, it also goes into what? Widow, and it goes into whore. A queen is a whore. Okay? That's what a queen is. So when you're looking at Beyonce and she says, queen of the bees, what does she call us, the queen of the bees? I mean, she's what? She's the queen of the whores. Okay, in America, Babylon is the queen of what? Kingdoms, of whores. That's why it's referred to as her. Okay? Yeah, America is that dirty, filthy slut, that whore. You know? You're even going to get individuals that get offended at that. Oh, you can't say that. How could you? Well, it tells you America's that whore. America in the Bible is referred to as the whore because America sleeps with these other nations. America's in bed with these other nations. Okay, that's what a whore does. A whore commits adultery with other what? Men who are married. America is that filthy whore. That disgusting, filthy, disgusting whore. Okay? Which guess what? We were whores. We were committing spiritual fornication with other gods, but now we've been called back. That's why Yahweh talks about the bride and the marriage. So we're being married to Yahweh Shai. Okay, well I want to stay on point. She said, for the heart I sit a queen. Okay. and shall see no sorrow. That's that pride. That's the pride of America. Okay? America says they sit a queen and shall see no sorrow at all. None. That's pride. If that ain't pride, you tell me what is. What ain't? What is? Like, what ain't? You know? Therefore, you know what it says? And shall see no sorrow, because America, if you do your research, America has not really been touched in war. Okay? That's why it says, and shall see no sorrow. Okay? Therefore shall her place come in one day. In one day, death and mourning and famine. So all these things are going to come in one day. Death, mourning and famine. One day. So that shows you a lot can happen in one day. And she shall be utterly burned with fire. It doesn't say a little bit, you know, just a little bit. It says utterly burned with fire. Utterly. Utterly means completely. Okay? For strong is the Lord Yahweh Shai, who judgeth her. So America's going to be judged. And who's judging her? Yahweh Shai. Okay. Well, this has been on longer than usual. More battles. And I'm over 2 hours and 5 minutes. Let's keep going. Rakati Yahweh Shai. Okay. So it's Yahweh Shai that's judging this whore. Okay. Now let's go to verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication. The fornication is doing deals. Okay? Took on America's ways. And lived deliciously with her. Shall bewail her. And lament for her. When they shall see the smoke of her burning. So why were these other nations going to lament for Babylon? Because what? They're doing deals. Okay? They made merchandise. So what does this mean? No more money for them. Because their money is being done away with. Their economy is being done away with. The merchandise is being done away with. Because what does America do? America imports and exports. So America is that great whore. Okay? America is that great slut. That whore. That fornication is what? Sleeping with the other nations. That's that fornication. Okay? That is that fornication that America has committed. And lived deliciously with her. And shall bewail her and lament her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Okay? So all these other nations, they're going to lament America. Because America, it hasn't got long. America hasn't got long. According to the scriptures, America, Babylon, does not have long. And it says they're going to lament. And bewail her. So when you bewail, what are you doing? You're crying, you're mourning. Okay? So it's letting you know. When they shall see the smoke of her burning. Because America's going to be a fiery, see this, World War III, bear me just a minute. America's going to be a fiery lake of fire. That's what America's going to be. Okay? This is what your great America's going to be. Okay? Nothing but fire. Okay? Thus saith Yahweh Abishai. Okay? This is what's going to happen to Babylon. This is going to be the outcome. Why? Because the scriptures say so. That's why. Okay? And if the scriptures say so, guess what? I'm living. Okay? And standing afar off for the fear of our torment, saying, Alas, alas. So the other nations, they're going to be saying, whoa, whoa, why is America destroyed? Why is this happening? You know? They're going to be railing. And when you go into that word woe, it's also grief. So of these other nations, they're going to be grieving over America. Okay? That great city, which you had the individual earlier on, when I asked him, what does he think of America? And he said, yeah, it's great, it's great. And he raised his hands in the air. That's that pride. Okay? That great city. So this is what's going to happen. For in 1 hour, is that judgment come. So 1 hour is that judgment going to come of Babylon. Why? Because the scriptures say so. Okay? 1 hour. Okay? Thus saith the Holy Bible. And there's nothing anybody else can do to disannul it. It's what the scriptures say. Not what I say. Okay? For in 1 hour is that judgment come. So 1 hour, that's who it's going to take. The whole region of America, 1 hour. So that's mass catastrophe, mass destruction, 1 hour. Okay. Is that judgment come? And this is all according to the word of Yahweh Shai. Alright? Verse 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. So I was letting you know, the traders are the modern day merchants. What are merchants? Merchants are from ship, not so much from plane. So the merchants are what? The shipmen. And that's spiritual in itself. Because what have you had lately? You had traffic in the Suez Canal. You have that traffic, which I've got it on my phone, bear me. Let me see if I still. It says ship blocking Suez Canal, partially freed after 6 days. Partially, not completely. So that means some of it, not all of it. Because you have a container blocking the Suez Canal. So now the ships have to take a different route. Okay? And how are most things imported? By ship. So most merchandise, most money, food, most of it is done by shipping. Okay? That's how most money is made. By shipping. Alright? And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. Because they're not able to make no more merchandise, no more stock. Okay? So they're going to mourn, they're going to cry, they're going to lament. That's another word for woe. Lament. Okay? For no man buyeth their merchandise no more. So there ain't going to be no more, nothing bought and sold from that land anymore. Why? Because it's going to be done away with. What's there to buy? It's going to be a fiery furnace. Okay, for a long time. Okay, and this is what the men of the Lord want. This is what we want. Okay. The merchandise of gold. Okay, because America, yes, they're rich in gold. Okay, and gold, the value of gold, it's always going up. Gold is always going up. It's never really so much going down. It's always going up. Okay, whether someone wants to shorten the price of gold, that's up to them, but the price of gold always goes up. Okay, so they're rich in gold. Silver, also in silver. Okay, silver is a commodity. There's properties. There's a reason why these things are mentioned. So even in silver, because silver's got beneficial values to them. Gold, silver is a purifier, gold is a purifier also. And there's things you can do with it. Okay. Silver can also be used for healing. There's many different things you can do with silver. Silver is a good conductor for electricity. Okay, so you can conduct electricity of silver. Many different things. Okay. And a precious stone. So even America, they're wealthy in precious stones, gemstones. Okay. All that land of America, and you're telling me it's not rich in these things. It's rich in all these different things. And a fine linen, okay, clothing, okay, and purple, the color purple represents wealth. When you see someone wearing purple, it represents wealth, dominion, and silk and scarlet and tying wood. So he didn't say cotton, it said silk. Why? Because these are expensive commodities that you can sell, that you can make merchandise of. And a lot of this silk they get, where is it from? It's not so much from America, it's from the other nations, it's from China. Because a lot of silk is produced in China. A lot of it. Okay? And tying woods. And all manner of vessels of ivory. So even different type of trees have high value and beneficial properties. Because Esau, before he purchased things, he goes into the study of things. There's trees. Trees have a beneficial purpose. Well, you need trees for oxygen. That's the same thing. And they have what? Beneficial practices, purposes. Okay. And brass, and iron, and marble. Okay. So these are all the things, brass, marble, iron, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense, and wine and oil. Different wines, for you to have wines, what would you need? Oil field, so like a wine field, grape field. Okay, for you to have wine. So these are all the things they're wealthy in. Okay. And what's it? Fine flour. So even in flour, okay, what do you need flour for cooking? So even if you have flour, that's a commodity. When you have flour, what you can do, you can bake. Well, right now you don't want no flour in your household because it's still what? The Passover. Okay, the feast of unleavened bread, where you get rid of all the yeast. For you brothers that may be living with family, you may find it hard. Okay, but if you have any yeast, get rid of that yeast, chuck it away, because yeast, it rises. So you're not supposed to have any unleavened bread in your house. The feast of the Passover. Okay, and that yeast represents the leaven. Okay, and it really starts with men. Okay, that leaven is really within men. What's that leaven? Purging away at the old men, things that are not beneficial to the truth. That's really leaven. Okay, that's the leaven. All right. So you got to purge away all that leaven. Okay. A little bit more time. Okay. So yeah, that's that 11. All right. So we're gonna continue where we was. Okay. And it says, and cinnamon and odors. So even with cinnamon it's got properties. Okay. So America's high in these things: cinnamon, gold, silver, odors, different minerals. America's wealthy in these things. That's why it makes so much money. Okay. So like I missed it. Wheat and frankincense, wine and oil, even frankincense. Properties and all these things. Sheep and horses. Even with the sheep and horses. Okay. Sheep. What can you use sheep for? Wool, cotton, clothing. So that's money. Okay. Chariots. Okay. Which they also sell particular cars. What cars do America